Boom. Hey, internets. Wanted to address this. Someone asked me this. A subscriber asked me this when we were doing consulting, and I thought it was an interesting question. I do get this question from time to time, and it's a fair question for sure. But I think my answer can give a little bit insight on my thoughts on the industry at the moment. So the question, as you guys clicked on it, is why don't I have my own brand? And so the first answer I have for that is I get the luxury or the opportunity to work with a multitude of different brands because of this YouTube channel that you're watching right now. I would have never imagined years ago when I started this. We're talking about my dreams to own a clothing line started when I was 18, and that was in like 96. Yeah, like right around 96. And so got into the industry professionally in 2000. And so throughout my 20s, my only dream was to own a clothing brand and make $1 million, put that money into real estate, and then keep growing, etc. Most of you guys who, if you're subscribed to my channel, you know my story. And so that didn't happen, but a lot of that failure or feedback when I launched a brand when I was 27 was the birthplace for this YouTube channel, which actually helps other people to launch their brand. But that learning point really helped me to figure out what I needed to work on and the strengths that I was lacking in, or weaknesses that I needed to turn into strengths, and gave me a lot of vision, probably a lot more vision than if I would have been a successful company, I would argue. But since that point, I became directors of a couple different brands, and so kind of navigating the seas in the last several years of a couple brands, and trying to embrace technology and all the different things that are happening in the landscape has been super interesting. And then with the rise of my YouTube channel, I feel indebted to try to figure out what's going on the edge of the industry in a lot of places, inclusive of design, marketing, sales, and simply the way that we design product and get it to a marketplace, or create the marketplace, and get it to people. And within it, I kind of understand really well the problems of startup brands, and then people who are farther along in the journey, like, so say they've made some selling product that's actually winning in the market, and so how do they maintain that? So being kind of scared, I don't know, that's not the right word, but definitely being apprehensive about all the new things that are coming in that can challenge the success of a brand, the things that could compete with the success of a brand on multiple levels, is sort of what I'm focused on in the last several years, when I try to figure out a way to make one brand work. So when I consult with a brand, depending on where they're at in the journey, I'm hoping that I could give them vision and some type of knowledge, and then have a formed opinion of what I think they can do to increase their presence in a marketplace, and quite frankly make more money as a brand, or whatever the goal is for the owner of that company. Try to help fulfill that. And so knowing all of that does make me super apprehensive to wield my own brand. Of course, I'm confident in a lot of the choices I make when a brand has a setup already. Having a brand make it through now, I think I said in a recent video, is like 1 in 1,000. They say for entrepreneurs, 9 out of 10 don't make it. I think it's worse in fashion. Depends on when you count a brand, because someone could come up with a logo right now and go print 20 shirts tomorrow, and then start an Instagram and say that they're a brand. So are you competing with them? Part of me would argue no, but I don't know. It depends on where your line lies for what a true company is. However, I would still, having said that, say it's 1 in 1,000 that are kind of making it through. So number one, I'm dealing with a lot of companies, whether it's consulting, and still doing a ton of design work for a lot of different clientele. And if I had my own brand, I mean, it would compete with that. and I don't want it to, because I enjoy meeting people, a lot of people from the US, and I consult with some people in the UK and around the world about their brands or their startup brands, and I love meeting new people. If you ever come to know me, I'm really a social person. There's two things I love. It's fashion, kind of, or the making of the brand. Business I like. So that, the business of fashion, maybe I'd say, and then I love real estate. And so I love the idea of where I might put money into real estate too. So I spend time doing that. And so the kind of extra time that I would have to use to kind of have my own brand, I would rather forfeit that to like think about real estate, or just relax and hang out with my nieces and just do some real kind of living. My 20s and my 30s were really filled with a lot of hustling, And so I'm lucky that I'm at the point where I can kind of choose the projects that I want to work on. And so I don't choose to kind of have my own brand right now. Of course, I have my ideas for and concepts for a brand in the future. And if the right situation kind of presented itself, then I would do it. Also, partnering with someone of heavy influence. Like, you'd be crazy if you think I wouldn't take up Drake or I don't know, Jay-Z, or I mean, there's so many. I just named two musicians, but there's a lot of celebrities and The Rock. Oh my gosh, if The Rock wanted to do something, there's a lot of opportunities I would obviously take and forge a new brand, and that if that opportunity came to me. But at this moment, just answering why I don't have my own brand right now. I've worked on brands for over 20 years now, and where I'm at right now, helping you guys on the internet is a really fun for me. But less informational, more about my opinion. But I do think this is a really tough landscape, so it's important to listen not only to me, I guess, but to whatever other information sources there are out there about fashion and launching, because it's a huge commitment of money, time, and energy, and anything that you can do to save on any of those three categories would help you tremendously in forging the success of your brand. So there you go, a little bit for you, and then a little bit of my opinion. Hope that helps. You have questions, comments, whatever, please drop it all down below. You could also email me. Please follow me on social media when you have the chance. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.